newest member of the Minitab product suite. So, what it is, and without further delay, I'll move into Minitab Workspace. So, Minitab Workspace is a visual tool for better business productivity. I'm sure that sounds great, and I believe everyone here is looking to increase their own, their teams and their organization's productivity. And these visualization tools are very effective in actually communicating ideas and organizing information and persuading stakeholders. In concrete terms, I should say.
All right, sure, sure.
In concrete
Okay,
terms,
so
we'll check that. So in concrete terms, what exactly this workspace do? Let me just move on to the. So in short, you get more than 90 tools and roadmaps. So and when we say like it's a comprehensive tool, we meant it. We have listed just some of the tools here, but these are the heavy headers. Okay. So there is a lot of text actually in this slide, but I hope you will take away from it. So the first, Minitab's history is rooted in process improvement and lean markets, and then the breadth of our tools is reflected and the breadth of our tools is reflected in that. So we have a process improvement tools here. For example, in Workspace we have Fishbone Diagrams for process improvement. We have process maps. We have CNE matrix. We have Monte Carlo simulations, CPOC. We have Pareto charts for any kind of errors, or you want to access what 20% of your business drives your the 80%. So you can check that. We have like DMAC roadmaps. We have PDCA roadmaps, which are included in this. So these are just some of the tools here. In on the lean side, we have value stream maps. We have A3. We have a work element time study, 5S, quick changeover tools, Gamba walk interview suite, which is one of the newest addition, and then there is something like Kaizen event roadmap. Uh, and then on the right hand side, you can see one of the headers as product development. So there is a product development tools for R&D for new product development, Kano models, VOC voice of customer plan. Then we have uh, SWOT analysis, critical tree, and then seed of roadmaps, which is like concept, design, optimize, and verify. Uh, and on the there is on the project management side of the tools, there is a Gantt chart, and then there is a form you can capture minutes of meetings, and there is stakeholder analysis. There is an action plan for catching action, and then we have a risk assessment also. So you will notice as we are moving like more towards the right hand side of this slide, these tools are moving like further and further away from the traditional Lean Six Sigma specific tools. So we know that even if you are working on continuous improvement or operational excellence, a lot of what we do actually in our daily work, we likely to have a broad set of problems which we are responsible for solving. And then regardless of our job titles, like anyone in the organizations, they can use something like this here, an idea map to organize thoughts and ideas, or like impact versus effort matrix to organize their priorities. So we understand that you may have come here to see Workspace because you might be looking for a very specific tool, but we want you to understand that if you stay here means Workspace can become your go-to visual tool that will help you to become more and more productive, no matter what's the nature of your job, or what kind of audience you serve. Okay. So Workspace gets you there with the tools and the roadmaps very fast wherever you want to go. Our goal in Workspace is to give you the tools you need and remove any barriers, so that you can make your process more efficient quickly and visualize them fastly. So I'll just quickly give an overview. So when you first open Workspace, the very first thing you will see is this grid of tools, as you can see here. They are just one click away as a process map. Here you can see Monte Carlo simulation, values, stream maps, fishbone diagrams, A3 and Pug matrix. uh, and flow charts. So this is just a screenshot. You will see what you are seeing right now on the screen, but you will see one of them in like in action in a few minutes when Austin will give the demo. And if any one of you is having an experience with our product, which is Companion by Minitab, you may recognize that the number of tools here are some of them means Workspace share some of the tools with Companion. But here we have introduced 7 new tools actually in Workspace, like the Gamba Walks, True Sheets, SWOT analysis, and others, FMEA products. So these are just very new tools which is in the first release, and we have many more which are coming shortly in our Workspace. So just a quick overview of what is Gamba Walk and True Sheet is. This is one of really cool tool. It is a lean tool which comes from Toyota actually, and it's a lot like one of the lean tools. So there is a lot of applicability to anyone who wants to create more value to their business. So what happens in Gamma Walk is you walk actually. Gamba means actually at the actual place. So you walk onto the shop floor, or where you want to understand your process. You interview each of these different methods, or different elements which you are having. You ask questions, and this is just a sample of questions, and you take the answers, you take notes. This helps actually to understand what your process is. uh, and these all these sheets you can customize it. Actually, these are all templates you can customize according to your own processes. One of them is included new is the SWOT analysis, which is like strength, weakness, uh, the opportunity and the threats. So this tool actually, it looks like very I'll say deceptively simple. It is just a 2 into 2 matrix, if you can see here. It's just a 2 into 2 matrix, but the power is in the methodology. It focuses you to be honest with yourself and your business actually, and your competitors, to write down what exactly is going in the organizations. Then we have a new thing which is like impact versus effort matrix. Uh, this is like SWOT analysis, looks a very simple tool, but anyone here who has worked on a product roadmap, or has planned or prioritized group projects, like for the next quarter or the upcoming half year, they know it's sometimes chaotic and overwhelming to tackle in what order they should do each of these projects. So this tool helps you to visualize where your group should focus, where there should not be focusing. So for example, here they should not be focusing on time wasters, or what will be the quick wins they should be focusing on quickly. So this is how these visual tools can help you. And then there are 4 new FEMA tools which are introduced. Some of them are the FEMA is actually failure mode effect analysis. You might, some of you might know, and it's assure or mitigate risk. For example, we do analyze how can our product like fails, what will happen if it fails, what is the severity if it fails, and then for example how frequently does it fail. So these are some of the things which we visualize in FEMA analysis. So uh, that's actually the kind of overview I wanted to give you about Workspace before you even go for the demo, if you are very new to the tool. So I think so I'm going to switch over to Austin
Has the commonly
for
used
that.
tools on it. There are a whole host of other tools available within Workspace, as Vinit illustrated. If you want to see those, you can either search for them here, or you can access a list of the tools from this list at the bottom. I'm not going to go through all of these at the moment. Suffice it to say, it's very extensive. And the idea is, for whatever sort of visualization of data or process you need, there should be a tool within Workspace that will enable you to do that. The other way that you can do it, as I say, is go File, New, and you can search for particular tools. So if I wanted to search for a particular tool, and I will in a moment, I will use that box there. So what I'm going to focus on are those 7 new tools initially that Vinit touched on. So we'll show you how you can actually start using these tools, and we can build up a little collection of tools as we go through. So let's say the first thing we wanted to do was to use that new Gemba Walk interview sheet, for instance. So literally I've gone File, New. Okay, the Gemba Walk isn't immediately obvious on there because it's not something I use a great deal. I'm using the other tools here. But if I just do a search on Gemba, click search, I can see my Gemba Walk interview sheet there, and I can insert it. I can also pin it here as well. So next time I go new, if I clear that, hopefully you can see that the Gemba worksheet now is pinned for convenience. So now I want to do the work. Here's a Gemba worksheet, and again I can start to prepare this. Now, exactly as Vineet has described, this is fully customizable. So this is your Gemba walk, or certainly in the our end of the world, you may hear people talking about management by walking about. Similar sort of idea. You go to the process to see what's happening. If you want to change the order of the questions, you can do that. You can move these up or down. You can delete them, and you can add additional ones in here as well. So I might add another question in there. You know, why did Zoom fail? So you can build the set of questions that you want to go and see when you go to watch your teams on the floor, and then you've got a sheet that you can collect that information in. So it's very flexible and powerful tool, and it's nice that you've got those questions planned, and you may have multiple examples of this. It may be you want to try and pick somebody out of process A and process B and process C every day, and you can build up a collection of these as you work your way through the workforce. The second tool that Vineet mentioned was the SWOT analysis. Now, if I wanted to, I could go back to File, New, and start there, or let's assume in this case we're actually building up some knowledge about our process or our factory or our business or our university. I can actually click on here and add a tool. So this is going to add another tool to the current file that I'm working on. So in this case, I'm going to do a search for SWOT. That's actually my SWOT, not the official SWOT. So let me add the official SWOT form. And it's a good point to illustrate that these forms are all fully customizable. So you can make these forms work how you want to work within the business. So these are work group forms that I've sorted out for internal purposes. I've got personal forms, and then you've got standard forms a little bit further down. So these are the sort of official Minitab ones. So let's use the official version of Minitab SWOT analysis. So the idea here, if you've not used it before, is that you can start looking at the sort of trade-off between value, between internal and external. So your strengths and weaknesses are the internal things for your business. Opportunities and threats are things external to the environment. So literally in here, possibly personally, possibly as a group, you might start brainstorming out our strengths are things like culture. It might be our workforce. It might be our quality. Your weaknesses might be things to do with coverage. You get the general idea. You can build this up, and then you can communicate this out to the business as well. So you can export this by right-clicking. You can send it to other products like Word or PowerPoint, or export it as a PDF. So you can then communicate the documents that you create in here to the business. So having built that organizational strategy, you probably want to share it. So you have got the ability to do that in here. The next tool I wanted to have a look at based on Vineet's presentation was the impact versus effort matrix. So again, it's a case of going to add tool. In this case, it's going to be, let's do a search on impact. And I've not had to type the whole tool name out. Companion Workspace has done a search for me, so I can click that's the tool I actually want, and we could insert one of these in the package of work that we're doing. So this is what I was talking about, was the compromise between value and effort. So as Vineet mentioned, you're probably wanting to be spending your effort on quick wins and major high impact projects. You don't want to be doing the time wasters. You may do the fill-ins if necessary. And again, things like, just to illustrate it in use, it might be, we're going to introduce new product A, we're going to introduce new product B. It's difficult, but it will have a high impact on our business. Whereas your quick wins might be things like, I don't know, updating our website, maybe getting some more training for the people. Fill-ins might be your marketing campaign. It's relatively low impact, but it's very easy to do, and you'll get some impact on it. And hopefully, you're having to work in things like redundant systems, very hard and low impact. They're places you don't want to be. But again, this is how you can use those forms within Workspace to visualize that matrix. It's a simple tool in principle, but it's very powerful in terms of being able to view what's going on. And then before I actually work on my way onto some case studies that I've got available for this session, I just wanted to touch on the FMEAs. So as Vineet mentioned, there are 4 new FMEA, or failure mode and effect, tools available within Workspace. There's one for PFMEA, which is process FMEA. There's also ones for design, or DFMEA. And for each one, process FMEA and DFMEA, there is the traditional FMEA that uses risk priority numbers, and there is the new version of FMEA that uses action priorities, which is based on the new AIAG guidelines. So just to give you an example of both, we'll add 2 new tools. The first one we'll add is a FMEA. We'll add the traditional one. So this is the one that uses risk priority numbers. And we'll go back to that in a moment. We can also add another PFMEA based on the AIAG guidelines. And immediately you'll see the appearance is a little bit different. I'm not going to go through a full demo of FMEA, but I did want to illustrate why, well, one of the many reasons actually why there is a new version of FMEA available. So with traditional FMEA, what you'll do is you'll work out the text that needs to go in these various boxes based on your process. But the big objection to old style FMEA is it's based on risk priority numbers. Now the risk priority number is arrived at by multiplying a rating for severity, as in how much damage is this likely to do to my factory or to my people or my customers, how frequently it's going to occur, which is the OCC, and how likely are you to detect it's going to have taken place. So in this case, this is going to calculate a risk priority number of 64 based on the factors that I've put in there. Now let's say I had another line of information that I determined from my process, but this time the severity is 8. So this might be your very expensive customer disappointment, or somebody becomes very badly hurt or becomes dead, or there's an industrial relations catastrophe. It's something that's very severe to the business. But let's say the occurrence of that was 4, the detection was 2. You'll notice that has also got an RPN of 64. So while that's a very important input and failure mode that in principle you should be addressing using risk priority numbers, there's a good chance that you may not tackle that using the traditional FMEA. With the new version of this, if we do a similar sort of thing, we put a couple of lines of data in here. So let's say we've now got the same ratings before. We've got a severity of 1 and a severity of 8. We've still got our occurrence value. So we've got 8 and we have 4. And I just slide along here a little bit now, and we put in how likely are we to detect it. So that we had 8 before and 2 down here. Hopefully you can see that this model of FMEA is attacking that risk or that potential failure mode quite differently. So you still probably wouldn't bother about tackling this first one in terms of a Six Sigma project or a lean project or process excellence project, but there's a good chance that you should be addressing this one that is rated as medium. And again, if you were to change this to say 9, that should turn it into a high action priority. And the other nice thing about the later version of, or the newer version of the FMEA, is you can be very more prescriptive about exactly what these ratings mean. And you could, of course, set this up as a template for your business so that you can say, I know, within your particular company, that this is what this severity criteria means. And that might be, it might be on impact to production or customer or end user. Somebody becomes very, very hurt. You'd quantify that. And again, we've got grids where you can quantify this for the occurrence rating and for the detection rating. Then the next piece that I've been asked to do is just give you a few examples of case use applications. So I've got some examples that I've put together, and I'm hoping that by minimizing this I will still be sharing my screen, but I'm not. All right, what I really wanted to do was to be able to get into the screen that you cannot now see. You share. Okay. Let's do this the hard way. In that case, let's go back to Workspace. What I was hoping to illustrate that you can just double click on these projects and get straight into them and start working on them. Instead, I'll open them directly through Workspace. We'll do that instead. So I'm going to open up some existing projects that I've already prepared. So here are some examples, and none of these use roadmaps. You do have roadmaps available if you want to follow them, but the idea again is to illustrate what Vinny mentioned right up front, the key message: get to the tools quickly. So very quickly rattling through some of these. I recently moved house, and I was interested in capturing data to see how high the river levels were in the town where I purchased a house. So in here I've got a project where I can get live data, and I've got links to the websites, and I've got Minitab data, which is actually taking the data for the local river, which has appeared on the other screen and you can't see. So I can actually keep an eye on what historically has been happening. So I don't know whether that Minitab screen actually has presented or not, but again, I've got that data within the Workspace project, so I can track this over time and look at water levels, and I used that to help make a decision on whether I wanted to purchase this house. Another example, again, process mapping. So here's one that we prepared earlier. This is literally just a business, it's a print business in this case, who was interested in mapping out the process in a very sort of vanilla method. The idea is they want to be able to illustrate flow from goods in to goods out through the print and cutting and gluing process. So again, very quick and easy, useful tool within Workspace. Vinny, Samir, I'm going to keep going until you ask me to stop. I believe I've got 2 minutes left, but give me a ding when I run out of time.
Sure.
Another example then, C would be Fishbone Diagrams. very powerful tools for communicating to the business what is going on. So here's one which is based on automotive. It's all drag and drop within here, so I can brainstorm ideas out for potential causes and drag and drop them to where they need to be on the fishbone diagram, and I can move them around, and it's very painless, easy and quick to use. It should help your teams work quicker. Again, quick word about localization. Actually, if I go add a tool in here, I mentioned customization. Okay, I haven't got it in there. So I've got another template I was hoping to show you, but I'll not show you that one instead. So let's show you something else. Let's say you were interested in documenting operations taking place within your business. Again, here you can, in this case, this is a process for producing some foodstuffs. So in this particular file, I've documented the process, I've captured the outputs, I've captured the inputs, and I've started to work on to using some of the other tools to start studying the inputs that might be critical to the process. Now, I could...
As today's business landscape shifts, so does the way we get work done. New business models appear. Sweeping changes in technology shift an industry, and an unending flood of data makes it more challenging to focus on the right issues, recognize patterns, and improve the way work is done. Discover Minitab Workspace, with visual tools to ensure process and product excellence. Workspace allows you to uncover the path to success by elevating your work with a toolkit that visualizes, optimizes, and maps your business better than ever before. Easily find all the right tools in one convenient platform. From brainstorming tools, process and value stream maps, to countless forms and templates like FMEAs and SWOT analysis. Eliminate the need to search for downloadable templates or find examples from off-site training. Start your projects with a roadmap that includes phases to execute, pre-populated customizable deliverables for each phase, and allow your stakeholders to easily view and understand your ideas. All this and more, backed by dedicated help and support. Minitab Workspace empowers you with the confidence to take action, with all the essential visual business tools in one place. Identify solutions to shifting business challenges and clearly communicate solutions and opportunities for improvement up, down, and across your organization.